Okay, so Mark, I'm really pleased to be talking to you about the 90-day process, and we're going to be doing a cafe discussion on it next week. And I just wanted to, for those people that aren't very familiar with the whole idea, I wanted to have a quick chat about it today. And I've got 2 questions for you.
Okay, that's fine.
And the first question will be about why it's an apparently simple process. Why do people, including me, find it actually quite difficult to do?
Okay, that's a really good question. First of all, you have to remember that it's only a simple process now because we've put quite a lot of time into turning it into a simple process.
Okay.
The concepts behind it, whilst it looks simple, they're actually quite challenging to get your head around.
Yeah.
So if you look at the process that we're talking about, it's the process where you take time specifically before the quarter begins to plan your goals and what you're going to do to achieve those goals in the coming 90 days, the coming 13 weeks. Okay. So yeah, in principle, it's a simple process, but the fact that we never really take time out of our days to think about the long term, other than what's happening next week or what's happening this week. That's one of the things you've got to get your head around. First of all, you've got to invest one day out of the coming 90 to be able to make that 90 successful. And that's something we don't think about very often. The next thing is about goal setting. Normally we set goals a bit like a to-do list. You'll set a list of goals and possibly have 2 or 3 sides of A4 worth of goals. This is about focus. This is about something that says, actually, if there's only 3 or 4 things that are the absolute vital things I have to get done for my business in the next 90 days, let's try and distill those down to what they actually are. And then set proper goals around them that we can measure, that we can actually have some structure behind how we're going to achieve them. And again, a lot of people don't do that. A lot of people will make a to-do list rather than actually seriously thinking about, okay, so if I've got to achieve this, this is what has to happen in that process to be able to get to where we get to. And that's the third part. The third part is about looking at those goals and actually drilling down into the detail of what do I need to do, in what order, and over what timescale to actually hit those goals at the end of a 90-day period.
So you're almost getting people to start with the end in mind, to say,
yeah, completely,
where is it you want to be? Whereas a very normal way of approaching work is like, I've got all these things to do and I'm just going to bury myself in what I need to do. And so maybe that is why it's so difficult, because you have to wrench yourself out of the busyness of doing to think, why am I doing all these things? Where do I want to be? And what's my more important thing? So I guess that does capture why it is quite so challenging.
There's one other point about that as well. We're kind of conditioned to do what's on our to-do list, and we're kind of conditioned to put on our to-do list all the stuff that absolutely has to be done, whether it's something that you think it has to be done or whether it's something somebody else thinks has to be done. And our conditioning basically stops us getting the focus just on those few priorities. And I've had, going through school and all that sort of stuff, nearly 40 years now of that conditioning. So it's actually quite hard to break that. So this is building a habit that will allow you to break that conditioning and actually just focus on exactly what it is that you believe is vital for your business for the next 90 days.
And I can feel that one of the resistances from the Third Sector Cafe community of people will be, well, I can't do that because I haven't got 3 or 4 goals. I've got like at least 25. And I know that's one of my resistances. So I think that would be something that we can talk more about on the day.
Yeah, we can definitely get into that.
Yeah. But one of the things I wanted to ask you is, could you articulate a bit of the benefits? Why bother go through all this bother of trying to get the 90-day process working in your working life? What are the benefits?
Okay. So first of all, think about something that you know that you absolutely need to get done for your business. Just put that into your mind. Now think about how long you've known that absolutely has to get done for your business.
Yeah.
It's longer than 90 days generally,
It's
right?
longer than 90 days, yeah.
And think about how good it would be if in 3 months' time that thing for your business was just done, finished, and ready.
Yeah.
That's what we're trying to achieve.
Yeah.
That's why you need to do it. The other thing is, unless we force ourselves to actually stop, take stock of where we are and take stock of where we want to go, we just don't do it. We just keep running because we're supposed to be running. We're supposed to be busy all the time. This helps you stop, focus, and move on. What I would say is it's a habit that needs to be built up. What I tend to find is that people that do this or go through this process, the first time they haven't got a clue what they're doing. The second time they know what they're doing, and probably after the quarter they'll probably get maybe 60, 70, maybe 80% of it done. But by the fourth and the fifth time of doing this, you'll actually find that because what you're putting into that plan is now more focused, more specific, more realistic, and because you know that the feeling of actually I got that done, you will end up getting 80, 90% of it done. And the only thing that will stop you is if you change your mind halfway through about the priorities for your business. But that should only ever be if it's a real shift.
So I'm really looking forward to that happening. So, I'm invested in that happening, definitely. But and I just wanted to share that one of the benefits that I think there is on offer for going through this process is I think it almost releases energy and time. So even if you are very busy and very, burdened by all the things that you have to do, there is something about this process which can actually make you feel less burdened and a bit more, and it frees energy somehow. You feel less overburdened and more productive.
It does. And the way it does that, you mentioned earlier that most people looking at this will probably have a list of 25 or 30 priority goals. That's overwhelming. There's no way you can do 25 or 30 priority goals. Just the act of bringing that down to 3 or 4, that's what gives you that liberating feeling of actually I can do 3 or 4 things.
And just not for people to panic. It's a 3 or 4 in that 90-day cycle. So you can have another 3 or 4 for the next 90-day cycle. So it's not like we're saying, Okay, well, I'm really looking forward. People have been sending in a few questions about how they manage their working days, and I've been reassuring people that you're very calm and very, very used to all these different kind of problems. And actually, you do inspire a feeling that actually it is possible, even if you have a lot of things on, to bring a bit more order into it. So I'm looking forward to the cafe, and thanks very much for joining me this morning to share this with people. Thanks very much.
No problem. I'm looking forward to it as well. Thanks, Sophie.
Cool.